Alrighty. How we doing? Give it a couple for the people to get in here. Flow. So, newsflash for tonight. I actually have Friday picks tonight, so don't worry. We got most of you guys covered here. Let me see. My window is messing up here. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I actually tracked everything this time that I'm playing this weekend and tonight ahead of time. So we have, let me see, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got about 5 plays tonight. And then not a whole lot tomorrow as of yet. Lines for tomorrow have not really dropped a whole lot yet. So we'll start with tonight and kind of move on as we go. Starting with our first play of the night. Actually, first of all, let me talk about the last 2 weeks or whatever, because it's not in here up here. We've had a little bit more than 8 plays. But first week, it was like 4.5 units, obviously. Second week, pretty much lost almost 3. So we're pretty much even now. Good starting point. And birthday weekend. So we're due. Got to be due this weekend. We got to have it. So I'll be at the casino tonight. We got it tomorrow. We're going to get after it. First play. You can kind of see it on here. It doesn't matter, though. I'm going to go with Purdue Fort Wayne -3.5, folks. So a little mid-major action this weekend, or tonight, I should say. Horizon League, for some reason, I don't know why, it did catch my eye, though. We have a slight revenge angle on Oakland when they lost about 76-62, I think is what it was. I wish I could click on that just to kind of show what's going on, but I'll just talk about it. Basically, somewhat of a high-scoring game-ish, meh. Fort Wayne was just 13 of 28 on most of their shot attempts at the rim. So, like in the paint, 13 of 28. Terrible performance inside the paint there. Let me be fair. In terms of Oakland, was 21 of 28. However, Fort Wayne did go 10 of 15 from 3 in that game. So it kind of makes me, say, hey, maybe they're not getting done on the inside. But if we get working on the perimeter, we're going to be dangerous. All right. And now we get them at home by 3.5. Revenge angle, like I said. All right. And also, look at the hat. We don't like Oakland anymore. Okay. So I know it kind of hurts for me to bring that up for all the UK fans. But yeah, we don't like Oakland. In conference play, Fort Wayne is obviously the top team by adjusted offensive efficiency and also has basically the best turnover margin percentage. They're in the tops of taking care of the basketball and obviously third in turnover percentage on defense as well. Oakland, in my opinion, I think has had some problems taking care of the ball. And I think that they're very likely to lose that 3-point battle, in my opinion. I think that one possession is very friendly given that recent game that they had. So in my opinion, I like the revenge angle here. I like the 3.5. I think that they do win by at least one possession. I mean, that's kind of, for me, it's kind of a given almost. Obviously, putting on the road is never easy, but I'll take my chances with that one. Given the perimeter percentages, the turnover margins, I'll take the easy 3 points there. Next play, Marquette money line. This one is a little bit controversial for most people, which is understandable. I understand. I've seen a lot of people. I don't really think I've seen really one Marquette play other than the people that I talked with this morning, to be honest with you. But I think they're poised to win tonight, honestly. They are 1,000% the better team, in my opinion, in this season, really. They've been through hell and back this year, if I'm being honest, especially this second half of the season. They've had a rough stretch of games, obviously losing to UConn. I think St. John's is in the mix there somewhere. Creighton, obviously. And then Nova, on the other hand, is pulling some stupid voodoo magic here. Pretty much they also lost majority of these games, I will say. However, if you look at this, lost at Providence. I had Providence in that game. Kept up with UConn majority of that game as well, but they've done pretty well in terms of like covering, like especially as a favorite, as a slight dog. In spots like these, like the public is going to hammer the living dog crap out of Nova here. I don't really blame them, honestly. I mean, they're deserving of it. I get it, whatever. But when you have a guy like Cam Jones, averaging like 9 points, 6 assists pretty much, they have the scoring power to completely outpace Nova, period. The only thing that Nova does, in my opinion, probably better, if not even, is probably just space the floor. But Marquette's depth and consistency and injuries or whatever, Nova struggling with consistency and with injuries. I think that Marquette has already proven that they can win on the road, and I like them in this spot. I am scared about this one, I won't lie to you, but Rithmm is for once actually taking a favorite, and I've got to take that shot. Most of my models are pretty big, heavy on dogs. So whenever I see a favorite light up, especially a short favorite like this one, I do kind of like to look into these a little bit more. But in this kind of position, obviously Marquette, they were coming off of 3 straight losses. This is what I was referring to right here. Now they've won 2 straight, obviously. not really close, not supposed to be close. But I mean, now they have another tough road test, and obviously Nova coming off of back-to-back losses. There's all kinds of angles here. It's tough to pick the side. It really is. So, in my opinion, I'm just trusting the models. I'm trusting the insight. I think Marquette needs a late season push in order to put themselves ahead of the pack in the Big East, kind of get their foot back in the door, and as well push it for a higher seed in the tournament, because that's always up at stake as well. Third play that I have on here, I don't believe that it's tracked because they didn't have it. Oh, they do. Miami of Ohio, -1.5. About 30 minutes down yonder that way. Should go and see the game tonight, but I'm not. Don't really care about MAC basketball. Sorry. But -1.5 here. This game, in my opinion, MAC is always tough to cap. I won't lie to you. MAC is tough to cap. So if I go on here, I'm going to type in Miami, go to the recencies. Had to make sure it pops up on your guys' side. Sorry. My internet's been so slow. This is ridiculous. But anyways, Miami of Ohio, -1.5 here. So we can click on this. We can go to see our history, and booyah. You guys know how I've pretty much said almost every single episode, right? How much I absolutely love playing these do spots, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The first weekend we won 4.5 units. The second weekend we kind of broke even with that. However, 1-4 and 1 as a favorite against the spread. And then you look at the overall record. I mean, they're both pretty much the same. However, Kent State, on the other hand, complete opposite. They've won as a dog against the spread. On the road, they've been consistently well against the spread. And then again, going back to as a favorite at home. It's pretty equal side here. Okay, here's where I like to back Miami, in my opinion. Go to these. You see these? These are favorites. You see these? These are losses. Back-to-back losses as a favorite, in my opinion, and now you're coming back home. That's an auto bet for me. Automatically. I mean, like, there's insight, sure. You know what I mean? You can look at the stats. You can look at the numbers like I did with Fort Wayne. Similar. You know what I mean? But then there's also these spots. I like to bet on these spots a lot. They've worked in the past. Last year, it worked perfectly for us. This year's a little bit different because we've kind of struggled with that a lot because there's been last-minute injury reports. There's been a lot of terrible hooks and bad beats. It happens. It's college basketball, you guys. You know what I mean? However, birthday weekend, like I said, we're due. You know what I mean? Like, let's just get it done. So -1.5. I like them here to bounce back better than 1 point, obviously. And you have a really solid price. Obviously, with just you have even money here from DraftKings. Looks like there's a pick'em here in New Jersey. Is that +104? +104 at FanDuel. There you go. I mean, like there's value everywhere on this play, in my opinion. On the money line, I think they're on Kent. Yeah, it's pretty sideways there. But and I know it's a caution there, but I still, like I said, I track either way. So that's for that play for Miami. Next play on here, I have Toledo -7.5. Which this was the play I was referring to. I don't think it's on here. Sorry about that. Let me see. So now I have to pull up my other. By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free, tap in, anything about any game tonight, period. Any game about tomorrow. We're going to get to tomorrow shortly. There's a lot tomorrow, but mainly we're going to try to get through these 5 games tonight. We can dive in tomorrow. Oh, they don't have. Okay. So I'll look on my phone here and go to whatever I have. Yeah, like I said, I have -7.5 for Toledo. They have already started. I forgot there was 6 o'clock tip off, so it doesn't like it. All right. But yeah, anyways, over was really public on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not necessarily telling specific people or anything like that. But what I looked at is the past games, which I can't even see it on my phone that it's actually started, which sucks. I guess we really shouldn't dive into that one too much since I don't really recommend live betting it either. So I kind of skipped that one for now since that was a 6 o'clock tip off. That's my bad. Sorry about that. Should have started with that one. We'll go into the headlined game of the night. And yes, I do have a play in this one. And no, it's probably not what you're wanting to hear, unfortunately. And like I said, this is the part where I'm like, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me or flame me. It's up to you. Go for it. But yeah. So this Michigan State +2.5, like I said, my Rhythms love dogs. And, I love dogs too. I'm perfectly fine with that because I like Michigan State in this spot way more than anybody that I've ever seen tonight at all. Like I said, the only people that I've pretty much talked to about tonight is pretty much the people that I talked to this morning regarding the show and stuff like that and like thoughts on specific plays tonight, tomorrow, etc. We kind of do like a deep dive, whatever, pretty much every day. And so all of us mostly agreeing on Michigan State tonight. It's kind of fishy. I understand. I get it. But when you look at the way that Michigan State's defense has been, it's insanely hard to fade them in any sort of way. And that's why I like taking, not the under, but I do like taking Michigan team total under 77.5 for -120 on DraftKings. And here's why. All right. So, I mean, outside shooting for one, they've cooled off. A turnover rate, they're sitting outside the top 300. Michigan has significantly, I mean like significantly regressed on offense, in my opinion. And by the middle of January, they led the country in pretty much field goal percentage while ranking 10th in scoring at 85 points per game. However, now they're 197th in field goal percentage, shooting just above 50.7 to be exact, and while averaging a mid 75 points per game. And in my opinion, you're getting the best defense that you're pretty much facing all year by far. And all of a sudden now you're catching 77 on the team total, which if you have a bad number here, I understand it because this number was at 77. I checked maybe like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. It's at 74 now, most places. But I found a 77.5, like I said, at DraftKings. So, I mean, if it's still there, go for it. I love that number, in my opinion. I really wouldn't play it probably past 76 or right past their average at 75, honestly. But yeah, like I said, Michigan State's are 14th in the country in adjusted defense. They're 20th in opponents' field goal percentage, which is around 46%. And obviously, that being said, Michigan, they've also been playing lockdown defense. I mean, there's a spot where you could probably take the full game under here if you really, really wanted to. I mean, it's 150.5, I think is what it said. I don't hate that play either, but I feel a little bit more comfortable taking Michigan team total as a whole rather than backing a specific side. in a money line or a spread standpoint, I think that we might see a game where it's probably like a 73-70 type of finish. So I like our chances there a lot better. So like I said, Michigan team total under 77.5. That's my play for the headline game tonight. For those of you who don't like that, I apologize, and you're looking for a side. I can't do it. I don't really like backing a side there. But if I had to, Rithmm says to go shoot for the Spartans in this one, and they have them outright as well. And like I said, I love the spot for them defensively. It seems like a pretty solid letdown opportunity for Michigan. The way how hot they have been, just given the last few games that they've scored 86, 75, 70, 76. I mean, they're right above their threshold. And then you look at Spartans and what they're allowing: 66, 65, 67, 74, 60, 63. Sorry. You know what I mean? I like it's right. That's pretty much right there. It's as golden as it gets right there for me. So that is all my plays for tonight. I'm going to dive into tomorrow as quick as possible as I can. Like I said, there's like 140 something games, and I mean, like, my God. So I have so far, just be due to the lines that are out right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays logged in on my Action Network right now. It's where I track all my plays in real time. So you can follow me there at Cade_locks there to get notified every time I play something. And Toledo is already down by 6. This is a fun stream already. Heck yeah. Good thing I didn't tell you guys that one before. Okay. First half, we have time, plenty of time. Starting off for tomorrow, first game on the board, I have Texas A&M plus 2.5. I know it says 1.5 here. I was late on tracking on Rithmm, but I have plus 2.5 minus 110 on FanDuel. In my personal opinion, with this game, this is like the spot of all spots, in my opinion, for Texas A&M. They're coming off of a loss. Tennessee's obviously coming off of a sketchy win in their home court against Vanderbilt. And like I said, this spot could not be better, in my opinion. It could absolutely not be better. There's a possible angle here where you could probably back A&M's team total over, as they have like last game they had 54, 69, 69 again, 67, 76. I mean, this total, like, they could soar in this game. Wade Taylor might get arrested for his wrist being a lethal weapon. I'm just being real. The dude might catch on fire. Texas A&M so fun to back, in my opinion. I had a great time backing them during 2022, their massive run, and it's not like a biasy thing. Like, okay, sure, I don't like Tennessee. We know that. It doesn't matter. But 2.5, you guys, I mean, this line, they're already favored. Just kidding. They're already favored at FanDuel. Minus 1.5. It just hit me. And Tennessee's now plus 2 at Bet365. So if you didn't get A&M now, you really need to, because there's minus 1.5, minus 105 at FanDuel. That's the best one available that I'm seeing. But we got them as a dog. And I don't have them for 2 units, but I really thought about it. Just because normally I like to unload on my Saturdays, and it's the birthday. So, you mean you might as well, but I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, though, A&M plus 1.5. Obviously, the Rithmm absolutely loves the dog in this spot, and they have them projected by pretty much minus 2 here. It's minus 1.8. And that's what they're favored by now. So I love the Rithmm play here, in my opinion. And then similar SEC play, which is next on the board, Vanderbilt plus 102 at DraftKings as well. Late to tracking this on Rithmm, but they're minus 104. Excuse me. They are beginning to shift to a pick'em from what I'm looking at here. Never mind. They are minus 105 for even money at most places: FanDuel, DraftKings, 365, Bally. ESPN's the only place that has them as a dog still for minus 120. I wouldn't really do minus 120 there if I were you. I would probably just go ahead and shoot forward the even money one for minus 1.5. But playing against Ole Miss in this one, Ole Miss obviously coming off of a loss, pretty tough loss if I must say. However, Vanderbilt coming off of a 20-point loss where we were boots. If you tuned in on Twitter, we were there. Fun, probably the most amazing atmosphere I've ever been to, in my opinion. If you have not been to an SEC basketball game, if you haven't been to Rupp, period, highly recommend. 10 out of 10, easily. But Vanderbilt money line here, coming off of 3 losses, 61 points in their last one, 76 in the Tennessee, 68 against Auburn, and obviously they won against outright Texas. Possible team total over there as well. I mean, and pretty much every one of these plays, you could probably bet their team total over. But 3 losses, coming back home, tough road stint. Like I said earlier with the auto bet thing like I was talking about. I forget what team that was already. My God. I'm all over the place today. Sorry about that. I'm taking my chances with Vanderbilt here, coming off of 3 straight. So there's that. Third play, moving a little bit quicker. I don't believe that I put this in here yet, but I will if it gives me the chance to, because I think it was liking the other side or as caution. I have Clemson minus 1.5 at Bet365. I see now there's actually a better number coming out where people are starting to hop on SMU, which is understandable. SMU's, I think they're top. I think they're a top 3 offense in the ACC. If not, I think they're a top 2. But I mean, the SMU has been no joke. I'm aware of that 100%. But in my opinion, with how hot Clemson has been recently, covering a minus 4.5, a minus 4. They won outright against Duke, obviously. I mean, their only outright loss in the last 5, I believe, was Georgia Tech. But in that game specifically, on the contrary to that, looking at SMU, they're coming off of a game where they were closed as underdogs, but they were opened as favorites against Notre Dame. I can kind of see why people like SMU in that spot. But at the same time, it seems like kind of like a letdown in my opinion. So I do like Clemson there. SMU, as far as like looking ahead, I think they go to Cal. So, I mean, there's not really much there. But I do, the fact that I could get Clemson at minus 1.5, given the recency that they have been playing at and how well that they have been playing, especially on the road. I mean, they just won by 30 points against Florida State last week. So I'll take that one all day, or Tuesday, sorry. Next play on here I have is LSU plus 10.5. So LSU plus 10.5. I know I have 9.5 on here. Like I said, late tracking on there. Florida, like I backed a weird, you know what I mean? Like this, it seems like it's stupid. I promise you guys, I'm not stupid. Okay, they are 9.5 in most places now. But I mean, Florida. Let's just go to this game real fast, and I can just point out exactly why, because it's going to pop up like a Christmas tree in the first 5 seconds. Tomorrow's slate, I got to say, isn't really as good as I thought it would be until like it hits like maybe it hits like 6 o'clock, like these games, and it just kind of dies, I think, in my opinion. LSU plus 9.5. Scroll down here. Let's see what we got. And bingo. So they haven't lost, you guys, in their last 5. You go to their last 10. They have lost twice as a favorite. They've lost 3 times, period, overall. And obviously on the road, it's been a little bit of an even mix. Similar to LSU, you know, they haven't really lost at home. But this is exactly why I like them. Because we go down, like I said again, Florida obviously on an impressive winning streak. LSU, who has been impressive on the offensive side as of late. I like the spot. Same, like again, 81 points in the previous game, 82 in the previous one before that. Obviously losing outright to Arkansas. I mean, I don't necessarily like them outright. I shouldn't say that. But to say that like they're losing by double digits in multiple games where they've clearly improved offensively here when they've scored 80 plus, I will take that chance all day. And I mean, even if you wanted to, I know it's recommended, not really recommending, but It's saying under there for the caution. I kind of lean over in that play, I guess you could say. So in my opinion, I mean, you could really do both, probably half a unit on both if you really wanted to. Up to you guys. But I do lean I mean, I don't lean. I'm on LSU plus 10.5 here. So I would love to see an outright. I would love to see some chaos on this Saturday, but we'll see what happens. And I'll be gladly tuned in with that one as I'm eating my glorious steak dinner tomorrow. Final play for now, just because of the amount of lines that aren't even out yet. I have a ton of leans, and I'll go over these very quickly at the end. But this is the last play that I have for tomorrow. As of now, I don't even know if Rithmm will have the lines available because I think they just opened not too long ago. Loyola Marymount minus 6.5, hosting Pepperdine. Now it's kind of like Pepperdine naturally, but it's been a common theme. Everything that I kind of like, it's been all over the place. Going to Loyola, obviously, as a overall against the spread, haven't been very impressive in the last 5. Go to the last 10. Similar standings here. Now, Pepperdine, they're just bad, period. All right? Terrible. Worst team I've ever seen in my life, probably. They're up there. Pepperdine, bingo. 1, 2, 3. Count them. 3 straight losses coming back, and all of a sudden they're catching 6.5 here. That's a little bit disrespectful in my opinion. If I'm Loyola, I'm like, geez, dude, really? So I'm like, all right, bet. Hammer time. You know what I mean? So yeah, Loyola off of 3 straight losses where they put up 61 points, 78 points, and it looks like that says 58. Team total over. Or the spread, whichever you feel comfortable with. I like both personally. I don't know where the line's going to be for that one, but there's not really team totals up right now and active. But again, there's just no, I mean, I by 3, I can't see that by 3. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as easy as it gets for me there. Pepperdine coming off of, it looks like, never mind. They just covered. I was going to say, I thought that was outright for a second. But I mean, they've been covering, they haven't really been covering these large lines like plus 25.5. They haven't really covered a -8. They haven't covered plus 2.5. It's been inconsistent. Let's just say that. However, on this standpoint, I'm just backing purely off of bounce backs. And obviously, if we look over here in terms of bounce backs, how they were favored by 10.5, they won by 7. Favored by 6, they barely squeezed by that one as well. Also didn't cover. And then all of a sudden you catch 11.5. And I mean, they pretty much win by 20 plus. Similar principle. You know what I mean? So if you're kind of just looking to the contrary to that kind of thing, that would be my reasoning for Loyola. So as of now, that is all the plays that I have for tomorrow. If I will post them in the Discord, I will post them on my action. Like I said, you just have to be following me there to kind of get notified whenever I do that. As far as leans go for tomorrow, there's a lot. So I'm going to try to go through these as quick as I can. Alabama is probably going to be one of the most bet on teams, most bet on games, period, probably tomorrow. And of course, naturally, I love you, Rithmm. You guys, see, I mean, they saw the hat and they were just like, you know what, we got to do it for the guy. Birthday dub would be magical. You know what I mean? That would be absolutely amazing if we just went into T-Town and just jump ship. Like I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Let me calm down a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like 4 straight covers. Is that what this is? Yeah, 4 straight covers here. And then on the contrary to that, back-to-back losses. Bama is not going to lose 3 in a row, in my opinion. I don't really think they will. I do like Bama minus 7.5. I know this is at 8 now. I kind of like them at anything above a 6. However, looking in statistically of Kentucky's like past games, there's one thing that I have noticed as a fan and as a bettor is that Their first half defense is probably among the worst, and I have probably ever seen of any team ever. So, first half when we went there, just past Wednesday, 40 points allowed to Vanderbilt, right? Go to Texas, 37 points allowed there in the first half there, and then go to Tennessee, 26, which Tennessee, they just shoot basketball like there's a Tupperware over the basketball hoop. I don't know why they always manage to just die whenever we play them. I'm a fan of it though. I don't care. I'll take the sweep. And then obviously Ole Miss earlier in the year, where they think they added up to at least 60 or 50, something like that. Bama should have no problem coming off of back-to-back losses and just coming out with a hot start here, in my opinion. I think a first half team total over or first half spread might be a good play there, in my opinion. I think you might be able to squeeze by, depending on the line, obviously, but I do like it. Next play on here, or lean, would be Oklahoma. Oklahoma team total over here as well, or an over 149.5 there. Go into the history, just kind of show you what I'm talking about. Short line again. There's a lot of short lines tomorrow. Oh, buddy. Speaking of deuce spots, just saw this. Whoo. Boys, we might be on Oklahoma tomorrow. This might be pretty. Yikes. This game is disgusting. Going into their last history, okay? I mean, we'll just look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enough said, dude. You know what I mean there? It's justified. It absolutely is. So 63 points, 79 points, 58 points, 52, 70. Team total over over 149.5. One, either Josh Hubbard explodes from Mississippi State and we see an offensive masterclass from both of these teams, or it's just very one-sided and Oklahoma just dominates as a 2-point dog, which both could very well happen here. We just don't know. But I do want to wait, obviously, for the lines to drop, and before I just kind of go into that. So we'll see. I already talked about Vanderbilt's team total over there, I believe. There's a few other good games that are on later tomorrow night. Gonzaga hosting St. Mary's in a revenge game here. Actually, did they lose last time? I forget. I already forget. I had a play in that game, and I already forget that. Whoops. I don't necessarily like Gonzaga minus 4.5. I think that's fairly big. I think I'm trying to hope for people to buy into St. Mary's and give me like a +3, and that's just not happening. Oh, God. They're at 5 already. I mean, yeah, if that gets any higher, there's going to be a point in time where you're going to have to back St. Mary's, honestly. I guess, let me see, if I had to look and guess. Oh, we're running out of time here, so I'll just kind of go a little bit quicker. Very dead offenses, I will say. Extremely dead offenses. In terms of the last 10, they're a little bit better there, but St. Mary's obviously hasn't been very impressive as of late. I mean, 4 or 5.5, man. I get it. Obviously, they won 4 straight. Gonzaga is kind of on a little bit of a run again, coming off of massive covers, double digits in all of these. It's a tough game to cap, honestly, in my opinion. I don't really have anything in this one. I don't think I will. I thought I was going to dive into that a little bit more, but considering the line movement, I think I'm just going to end up staying away as a whole. And now I'm going to go into pretty much the hottest team in basketball here. Missouri. And they are once again 1.5 favorites. Dogs? Are we dogs? No, we're still favored. Okay. Oh boy. Arkansas, I mean, dude. This is as pick-a-me as it gets. I mean, like, both of these teams have been so scrappy lately, and it's insane. I mean, they obviously, Arkansas, they gave Auburn a dogfight until like the last 3 minutes, and then they just collapsed. Didn't really look as impressive against A&M. They had a ton of turnovers. That's going to be the problem, in my opinion, is turnovers. I think Missouri matches up very well size-wise. In my opinion, it kind of matters if Brazil is playing for Missouri this game or if he's actually going to play for his own team, Arkansas. I don't know yet. Or if Little Z, that's what I like to call him because he's really, really small and he's not good at all. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know, man. This game is a toss-up for me as well. I do like the fact of backing Missouri in here. I just don't know if I can get there. I mean, it's kind of scaring me off with this line. I'm hoping that people might be able to buy in to Arkansas. I know there's a massive trend out there where it's unranked home favorites hosting ranked dogs. That's extremely profitable right now. I think it's like 15-5 right now in the last 20 or something like that. I did post that in my Discord, I think last week, where we had a couple of plays that kind of fit that motto. But yeah, I might as well buy into Missouri while I can. I'll probably do that once we hop off here. But yeah, I mean, like I said, as far as what Missouri's been doing, coming up 110 points, it's so easy to pick Arkansas. It's ridiculously so easy. But there's just no way I can get there. There's absolutely no way. Arkansas has been just a disgusting team this year, and they're the most inconsistent by far, and they're making their late season Calipari push that every Kentucky team has dealt with pretty much in their time. So you can kind of pick and choose here. But they've been covering. I mean, they've been covering as profitably as a dog. They've been covering at home. It's kind of, like I said, up in the air, and I can't really blame anybody. Wisconsin, I know tomorrow was another one I wanted to go into. I know they're pretty large favorites against Oregon, but I still like them coming back to home. I know several people have actually reached out to me telling me that they're on Oregon, which is also understandable because Oregon hasn't been the same Oregon team as they started out with. They're not really covering very well. And obviously the road trip factor coming from the Pacific all the way to Central, I think is what it is. Coming all the way to Central, it's a tough task. It's not easy. So 8.5 is a lot, but I think that I would need this to be at least like a 7. I just can't get there at 8.5 to back Wisconsin here, in my opinion. But Wisconsin is clearly the better team. I mean, as far as against the spread goes, as far as shooting, as far as defense, there's just zero way. They've been a covering machine, man. Like, this is insane. This is impressive. And the amount that they're covering by is just as impressive. And that's probably why that this is an 8.5 line, which, like I said, is justified. Got a few more here to go into. Iowa State and Houston, didn't really have a play there in that one. I guess kind of lean the under. I don't really like a play in this just because I don't think lines are out for this one because Houston's like minus 7.5, 8.5. Lines probably went up since then. If it keeps going up, I'm going to be on Iowa State, period. If it touches double digits, I think I am. I don't see a point where Iowa State drops this game by doubles. In terms of scoring, I know they're both very talented defenses. This under 30, that's very justified. I do kind of like the under there, though. I will say that. In terms of team totals, I don't know yet. Like I said, team totals haven't really been released yet, so it's kind of hard for me to pick and choose what I like there. Next game I have, I'm trying to go as quick as I can. Tomorrow, just going to pretty much just go through these because they're mostly team totals. Kansas is probably going to be a good time to back their team total tomorrow just because of the recency that they've been dealing with. A lot of people don't want to back them, and I completely understand it. But given what they've done, it's going to be really hard for me to get there, depending on what that line is. But Oklahoma State is terrible on the defensive side, and sure enough, we haven't probably outright yet. There it is. I do like Kansas to pretty much bounce back here. And obviously Bill Self said in an interview today, he's like, new season starts tomorrow. And so his teams, once he gets them locked in and loaded, I mean, those guys, they're going to roll. And it's going to be an interesting March for the Big 12 specifically. So I'll be tuned in for that one. Another one is Akron, who's a short favorite. They are coming off of one of the highest winning streaks in college basketball, I think, and all of a sudden going into Athens, Ohio, and being favored by 1.5. Don't really understand it, but anytime that I'm going to take a better MAC team versus a god awful MAC team, I'm probably going to end up taking it. I don't want to say god awful; they're not terrible, but Akron is significantly better team than Ohio. So minus 1.5 there at that one. I probably will end up buying into that. Santa Clara at Washington State. I think Washington State is plus 3.5 in that one as well. Rithmm does like Washington State. Potential add there as well. Probably outright. Santa Clara has been a little bit shaky. Washington State has been shakier. Makes me absolutely love Washington State tomorrow. If it loads real fast, I'll kind of go quick as I can. But yeah, like I said, this is it's complete polar opposites, you guys. Complete polar opposites here. So, right here. Yep, there you go. So all of a sudden now they're 2.5. I'll take 3.5 all day. I think they're 3.5 already. But yeah, take that probably. I think it's Butler at DePaul. Butler minus 3.5 over DePaul. Kind of lean DePaul on that other side. I wanted to go into that one a little bit. South Carolina. This one I do like. South Carolina is going to be playing spoiler for several teams, I think, in my opinion. And I think it's hilarious because of how bad that they are. And all of a sudden now they're just catching three points to probably one of the most mediocre SEC teams in the country. And yeah, I'm talking to you, Texas fans. Even though you beat us like 2 weeks ago. It's all right, though. It's just absolutely disgusting. They haven't really covered either on Texas' side. But, I mean, South Carolina's side has been a little bit more gross. They're allowing a ton of points. They haven't been scoring a ton of points. In my opinion, this could be another team total overlook for South Carolina. I don't mind that. So, yeah, that would be my initial lean, but I won't know until the lines drop, like I said. BYU, Arizona, this game is a little tricky just because of how well BYU has been versus how good Arizona's offense has been. And I think Arizona's catching like 7 points here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's a lot, in my opinion. I would need them to probably be at like an even 7 or a 6.5 for a decent price because they project them at 6, right at 6 on the dot. So not necessarily in terms of like ATS numbers or anything like that, but BYU, they've been rolling on offense. You might be able to take a BYU team total under. That's my main look here. But if you can get Arizona spread at like that 6.5 or better, I wouldn't mind it. I just think it's a little bit risky. But given how much Arizona's been playing defense and how good they've been playing defense, 67 here, 62 there, 73 there. They've been impressive, and obviously Cougars are pretty due for a letdown here, coming off of 3 straight. One of them was a dog outright win and a massive 40-point win over Kansas. So, I mean, that's just, it's not something that you see every day. So, like I said, like I've been saying, team total lines, not up. So, there's a lot of team totals that I like as of now in my hypothetical brain that I do like. I don't necessarily want to project them just because I don't have my model up. If you are curious, though, I mean, you can always go into your model, pretty much go into here and see that it has projected like 150. So, I mean, if it likes the under there, I guess you could say I would obviously like the BYU team total under. So that would be an initial lean there without the lines. Having to look up, it's pretty hard to kind of cap stuff like that. But other than that, you guys, that's pretty much all that I have for today. Not a crazy weekend, but I do have a lot of plays tonight. Like I said, Marquette, money line, Miami, Ohio, minus 1.5, Purdue, Fort Wayne, minus 3.5. I had Toledo. That game's already started, like I was saying. The main one tonight with the headliner, Michigan, team total under 77.5. If you can get it, run. Please, 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 please. This one is 2 units on my card tonight. This is a 2-unit play on my card tonight, so I am rolling with that. I would love to promote that if that absolutely smacks. I will love Tom Izzo forever if he just wins this outright and just shuts him up because I hate Michigan. And for tomorrow, as of now, Texas A&M plus 2.5, Vanderbilt money line, Nevada minus 1.5, Clemson minus 1.5, LSU plus 10.5, and Loyola Marymount minus 6.5. That is all my plays for tonight and tomorrow, you guys. I wish you the best of luck with your bets today and tomorrow. If you're riding with us, please let me know. I love the feedback. And yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in my DMs. My DMs are always open. I'm in the Rithmm Discord. I'm in my personal Discord. You can always reach out to me. I'm always open. I'll be a little busy tonight, at the casino, probably playing blackjack and watching Michigan. So, you know what I mean? We'll have a night. We'll have a night today, and we'll have a night tomorrow. We'll see you guys next Friday. I appreciate you for riding with us again and sitting here with us. So we'll see you next week. Thank you all.